Hello class, and welcome to my discussion concerning the problem of scale and how it factors into a government's ability to effectively operate and meet the needs of the population. We had three required videos and readings that we had to do this week. Our required videos this week included Donald Livingston's two videos on the proper size and scale of political order in the modern world. Also, the required reading of Forrest McDonald's Novus Ordo Seclorum provides perspective on this subject. As pointed out by Dr. Henson, this was debated at length by our founding fathers at the Constitutional Convention as they considered the creation of our federal republic. In fact, James Madison wrote of this subject in Federalist 10 in his anti-federalist concerns that he had on this subject. So let's start the discussion with Livingston's two videos. So Livingston points out there have been two visions of political order. The first view is best symbolized by the ancient philosopher Aristotle, and holds that political order is natural to man, as natural as the family or natural language, and occurs spontaneously. The second view is best symbolized by the English philosopher Thomas Hobbes, and holds that political order is not natural and it's the work of the willpower, and so is artificial. It's something we construct. So the two views are divergent about the size and scale of political order. And by size, Livingston speaks to the number of population and the extension of territory. And in the Aristotelian tradition, political society should be in some way small, and in the Hobbesian tradition, which is the modern tradition, it should be large, indeed very large. So Hobbes holds that without the coercive power of government, humans would be in a state of anarchy. In this condition, this would be the natural condition without the artifice of government. And this means everyone would have the power to do whatever they please to anyone at any time. Hobbes maintains this would be a horrible condition and that it would be a life that was solitary. So to escape from this condition, people spontaneously form a compact with each other to give up their absolute power to do whatever they please to a central authority. That central authority would have absolute power to do whatever it pleases, and this transfer of one set of absolute powers to another set is justified, because unless the central authority had this universal power, anarchy would break out. So government is the solution to the worst possible condition humans could find themselves in, and namely that would be anarchy. So Livingston goes on in some detail to describe the Hobbesian view, and he goes on to point out that the French regime that emerged from the Revolution called itself a republic. And it added on to it, it was a republic, one and indivisible. But this was an oxymoron because the Republican tradition held that republics had to be small. The other interesting point here was the French regime called itself a republic, one and indivisible, which meant it was a Hobbesian state because in a Hobbesian state, central power is indivisible. It's not shared with any other entity within the territory. It is indivisible, it's legally irresistible, and indivisible. So the French Revolution introduces us to a contradiction. So the Hobbesian state is now presented as something that could not possibly be, namely a republic, and this is going to yield incoherence in political thought that is still with us today. In MacDonald's Novus Ordo Seclorum, MacDonald discusses the constitutional republic concepts and challenges in the chapter titled Power, Principles, and Consequences. He points out the Constitution itself was anachronistic, and that the framers blended powers at the national and federal level and distributed power among the different levels of government. Also, there were provisions for choosing officials in different branches of government for different periods of time. So Livingston maintains that the second type of leader from Adam Smith's theory of moral sentiments emerged and prevailed at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. Those leaders exhibited proper temper and moderation, as well as respecting the established powers and privileges even of individuals, and still more those of the great orders and societies into which the state is divided. Smith points out that the leader will accommodate his public arrangements to the confirmed habits and prejudices of the people, and thereby will become able to assume the greatest and noblest of all characters, that of the reformer and legislator of a great state, and by the wisdom of his institutions secure the internal tranquility and happiness of his fellow citizens for many succeeding generations. Therefore, this type of leader in our Constitution factors into our government's ability to operate effectively and meet the needs of its population. By the very nature of this leader in our Constitution, we should have the proper size of government for our times. And in closing, I hope that everyone is doing well, and I wish all of you success going forward with your studies. Thank you for your time and for watching my video.